His voice, so full of affectation and superiority, rattled down Diana's spine, through her limbs, leaving her fingers knotted into a tight fist around the strings of her reticule. How very Templish of him to comment on the fact that she wasn't the youngest bride of the season, as if being 19 and unmarried was a crime. Never mind that he was right. The shade would be terrible on her. Was there nothing the man forgot? Well, there were some things he had.
"You needn't worry, my lord," she began to say. "I didn't intend—"
No. Don't rush to thank me from saving you from such a disastrous choice,"
he said, stepping back like a preening rooster, walking stick placed at a jaunty tilt and his other hand on his hip. Why? I wouldn't be able to look my cousin in the eye if I knew that he'd spent the last 3 years battling the Spanish or the Russians or whoever it is he's been bedeviling with Lord Nelson, only to sail home to find you standing before the parson wearing that dreadful thing. Diana struggled to remind herself that she was the daughter of a highly respected nobleman, as well as an almost graduate of Miss Emery's establishment for the education of genteel young ladies, and as such, cursing at this oath would not be to her credit. Still, Diana found herself clenching her teeth to keep from sputtering a very unladylike oath. "Oh, botheration," she thought instead, as she gathered her best manners back into place. Forcing a smile on her lips, she turned ever so slowly around and gave the Marquis a polite nod.
"My lord, how lovely it has been to see you again. But alas, I see Mrs. Foston coming, and I must—" she said, as she went to sidestep out of his shadow. Temple stuck his arm out to block her escape. Then, with the handle of his walking stick, he tipped back his tall beaver hat so he could look her directly in the eye. "There now, Lady Diana. You needn't try to bamboozle me with your fancy Bath manners. While I'm sure your father spent a fortune to see you well schooled, it is obvious his money was ill spent. Why, I can see from your expression you'd like nothing more than to pluck the ribbons from that hat and strangle me with them. But then again, you've never been like the rest of these ordinary girls they try to pass off as originals. Now have you?" Diana's gaze flew up, fully expecting to find the Marquis's mocking glance staring down at her, but there was something altogether different glimmering behind his dark, mysterious eyes. A light daring her to contradict him, to disprove his words, and just be ordinary. Or even, she found herself thinking, an offer to be more than just a well-mannered miss. An offer she'd accepted from him once before. Yet, whatever was alight there beneath the wicked tilt of his dark brows, it was hastily doused when, from behind him, Elton let out a low cough.
"My lord,"
the man said. He made a jerking nod toward a nondescript doorway tucked between 2 shops across the street, where an elegantly dressed young woman paced back and forth. Despite the fact that her face was all but hidden in the depths of her bonnet, Diana instantly recognized the other woman as Mademoiselle Lucette de Versay, the only child of the Comte and Comtesse Cendre. The girl's émigré status and lack of funds had not diminished her good standing in the marriage mart. Having come out a year earlier, she'd taken the staid ton by storm with her coy French manners, and much to the annoyance of the other young ladies seeking husbands, what Miss de Versay lacked in dowry was more than made up for by her ravishing good looks and her lofty connections to the House of Bourbon. Her father had died at the Place de la Révolution on the same day as the king, serving his ruler to the bloody end. As for the Comtesse and her daughter, it was rumoured they'd been rescued from their tumbril by a heroic yet unnamed Englishman. Not even London's best gossips had been able to elicit their benefactor's identity from the grateful ladies. But why Miss de Versay was on Bond Street, unescorted and hidden beneath such a poor disguise, Diana could only guess. And from the look on Temple's face, she suspected he knew the answer. "Oh, yes. How right you are, Elton," the Marquis was saying, slanting a haphazard glance across the street. "I'll be late for my appointment with my, tailor. I fear I must leave you to your own devices, Lady Diana," he added hastily, reaching to take her hand and make a quick bow over her gloved fingers.